Welcome to my YouTube channel. So in this video I'm going to cover how using Flutter we can upload some files to our Firebase storage, and also once the storage is complete I will show you how we can go ahead and save the path in onto our Cloud Firestore. Right, so Cloud Firestore is basically a database, and Firebase Storage, think of it like an S3 thing where you can actually save images or any other file, like maybe a blob file or anything like that. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing that we will need to do here is we'll create a new project. I can name it Flutter Firebase, right? And I confirm I use for my relating to my trades, business, craft. Okay, continue. I'll select my account, create project. So in the meantime the project is created. Let me go ahead and add some dependencies. So basically we will be making use of as I said, Cloud Firestore, which is our database, and Firebase Storage is our S3 kind of bucket where we can actually save the images. So first we would need Firebase core for that, right? I will use this version, and then we would need Firebase storage. For that I'm using this version. So I'm using these versions because I know it's compatible and they are stable. Cloud Firestore, I'll use the latest version, which is 3.1.10. Okay, this is done. Also, what I'll be doing, I'll be adding some images to my assets folder, right? So I need to um, set a path here. So it will be under assets, images. Okay, project is ready. Let's continue. In the meantime, let me add these changes. I'll create a folder called assets, and then inside it I will create images, right? I think I need a path here. I will get these dependencies with pub.get. Now here, before moving forward, let me download some images. So I will use this website / we can download some images. Like, let's download 5 of them. 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 of those images are downloaded. What I'm going to do here is on the background I'm renaming them, so it's easier for me to access them later on. Just a sec. Correct, so my rename was complete. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to drag all these files onto the image folder here. The files are a little big, so it might take some time. In the meantime, let's close this. Now here I'm using an iPhone simulator, so I will go ahead and run the Apple iOS. Right, now in order to start with this, okay, so our images were uploaded to our SS folder. So these are the images that I am going to upload to my Firebase storage, right? Now in order to get the bundle ID for iOS, the way it works is, let's go to iOS folder, the runner folder. I will open this in Finder. Now once this is open here, I'll open this in Xcode, so that makes easier for us to basically get the bundle ID. And after we get the bundle ID, we are actually going to download our Google file, which Firebase provides us, and we'll see that in a minute. Okay, so we have that. I'll go here. This is my bundle ID. I'll copy paste it. I go here, I paste this, I register my app. Once the registration is complete, it will give us to download this config file. Now once my download is complete, I am going to drag my file under this runner, click finish. So this download was complete. Now we can close this. So our work is done. The Firebase is integrated with our project. Now I'll complete all the steps as all the steps as next. Cool. Now we have our Firebase Flutter. Now the dependency is done. Let's go ahead and actually create our storages. So for here we have to go here, get started. We'll start in a test mode. Done. It takes some time. Now this is, we are initializing our storage. We see that it's creating a default bucket. So it's like a bucket where we can push our images. Now once that is done, now we need to update the security rules. Now security rules in short is something which allows us with read and write access, right? So the rules are by default very strict, so that any outsider cannot go ahead and make an update to your database or read any confidential information. But for this project, because we want to keep it easy, I will go ahead and give access to anyone. It should be small. So I'll give it as true. I'll publish it. So now everyone has read and write access to our Firebase storage. And similarly with Firestore database, I will go ahead and create it because we needed to store the path. As I said, it takes some time. Similarly, once the provisioning is done, it does set up some strict rules. I will go ahead and update that as well here. I'll make it true, publish. Okay, so it was done. So from the Firebase perspective, everything is done. We can actually start our coding part. So what I'm going to do, by default, if we run our basic template Flutter app, it does, on the screen it gives us a button. So on the press of the button we can do something. So I will keep that as it is. So on the press of the button, it is calling incrementer counter. So here I will name it as underscore add images. So I need to add images. Also I would initialize my Firebase. So there are two things I will initialize. I need to make it async. I need to do widgets binding widgets flutter binding dot ensure initialized, and here I will do await Firebase dot initialize app. Correct. So we make sure that Firebase connection is initialized. Once that is done, I'll go to my add images and then I'll call here underscore add images, right? And I'll keep everything as it is. Now inside this part, let's go ahead and remove all of these. Now what I will do here is I will create a variable storage which will store the Firebase storage instance, because we would need some methods, right? Like when we need to upload the file, we can use this storage object and we can call .put file on this storage object. So I'm creating that. Then I'm creating a list of images. So as I told you, we have these images, right? 1 2 3 4 5. So I'm going to upload each of them one by one. So it should be list of image assets images JPG. Okay, I will copy paste all of these, as I just need to change 2 3 4 5. Correct. Now here I will iterate over list of image for each, right? Okay, now here I will do async string image name. Now we see the image name is basically this part, right? 1 2 3. So what we can do, if we can get the last index of the slash and the last index of dot, anything in between them is our image name. So I'll do substring last index of slash comma img last index of dot replace, or no, we don't need to do anything like that. Now I will create a string path. Now what I'm going to do on my Firebase storage, I am basically going to add this as my path images, because all of them should be under images. Let's say you want something like logo, or you want to save any other information, you can create your own path. So here image dot substring image dot index of, so I would need the index of slash, because the first index of will give me the first index of the slash and last index of the slash. So anything between that will give me my image, the path name, right? So image dot last index of slash. Cool. Now I need a directory. I need a directory variable. So this is for, now what happens, because if we publish this app to the app store, this images is basically part of our application, right? So what I'm going to do, I am basically first going to transfer this images to some local place on my mobile application, and from there onwards I will convert it into bytes, and then I will start writing it to my Firebase storage, right? So these next few lines do all of that which I just explained. System, okay, I think I need to import it. Let's see. Yes, system temp. Okay, final byte data await root bundle dot load img. So this will gonna load my image, whatever image I have. Final file, go to file, system temp directory dot path slash image name dot jpg. Correct. Now this basically stores all the files that I have in the app in a temporary location on my mobile phone. Now I am going to convert this file into bytes. Byte data dot buffer as unsigned int8 list, byte data dot offset in bytes, byte data dot length in bytes. So this line is basically converting the file into bytes, and then we can use a stream to upload our file. Task snapshot. Now this task snapshot is basically what here in this line, basically I'm uploading the file to storage, right? As I said, we created a storage variable. This stores the instance of Firebase storage, right? So we are going to upload our file, but once the upload is done, we also need that information of the object that the upload is done. Now what is the path where it's being stored on the Firebase storage, and we can make use of or if we want to download it, right? So we can make use of this task snapshot. So here I do storage dot reference image name put file. Correct. Now here what I'm going to do, once this line basically uploads my file, so once the upload is successful, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get the download URL. I'm not downloading the file, but the reason I'm taking the download URL is because I would then store it inside my Firebase Firestore. So Firestore is our database, right? So we get the instance. I think I will need to import this, or maybe the import will come later. Yeah, dot collection. Oops, I think I made a mistake here. Await should be there. Yeah, import it. Now I can do collection. Now in the collection I will get the path. So our path was basically images. That is what our path here, and then dot add. Now I can store some JSON data. URL will be equal to download URL, and name of the file will be image name, right? We can store more data, and I will just print here counter plus plus, right? And then I will print the count. This is for my purpose, like we can see it in our what do you say, in our console, the developer console. And then here I will do a print uploading finished, right? Okay, so our method is done. Now we just need to call this method from our button, which is done. So here I will do, you are uploading the files to Firebase Storage, right? And we need to change the title. What is the title? Flutter Firebase Storage. Let's see. Now this looks good. I'm going to run my application, so I will do Flutter. Let me do ls first. Okay, I'm inside the folder. I will do Flutter run no sound null safety. Let's see. So it will take up some time because it's gonna pull the dependencies and then build and then sign our app to upload it to the iOS device, or simulator I should say. So till the time it's happening, okay, we got an error, external fetching SDK version. I think that's because the pod version. So let me go here. Oops, not this one. Pod file. Let's go to the pod file, and the version that I'm using for Firestore, Cloud Firestore, that should be 10. That's why I updated my pod file iOS version, and I'm using iPhone 13 as well. So let's see. It should go fine now. Okay, so if the pod install gets successful, then hopefully everything is good. But yeah, in the meantime, I'll explain what I'm doing here. I basically create a list of images, right, that I have as a part of my application. Then I iterate over each image. Once I iterate over each image, I get the image name and path. And in these 3 lines, I basically, because these images are part of our app, I move that files from my app to my any temporary space on my simulator, or in our case, when it's uploaded to App Store, it will be our real mobile application. Then I change this file into bytes. Once the bytes have been changed, I upload it. Now once I upload is done, I take the reference, I save that snapshot, and then I get the download URL wherever it has been saved, and then I go ahead and save it in my Firestore. Like, it's that easy. Now this is a very basic app, that's why I've done it in one method, but I know your use case obviously will use something like this, that you need to store something on some permanent storage like S3, or in our case Firebase Storage. Once the upload is done, we want to go ahead and make an entry in our NoSQL or SQL database with wherever the download URL is present. So it seems Our build is going to be complete now. Once the compiling, linking and signing process is done, Xcode build done, we will see our application running on the simulator. It's being run now. Okay, let me open our storage here so that we can see once we click on the button. So now when I click on this plus button, we are supposed to add some images, right? And let me increase this because I'm printing some logs also here, right? So let's press on this button here. Uploading finished. Okay, Flutter 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, yeah, so it's done. Let's refresh this. Awesome, we see the images folder, and inside this we see all our 5 files being present. That's good. Now also, as I said, after this upload is done, we should see something in our database also. Awesome, we see the 5 entries. You see the name is there, the URL is there. Name, it seems the slash is also there. I might have made a mistake, but if you add +1 here in the substring, it will get fixed. But yeah, that's all for our Flutter and Firebase Storage and Cloud Firestore integration. Hope you guys like this video. If so, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up and follow me on Instagram. Thanks everyone.